to safeguard and protect all of us in this country.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to the Lall show, where he tells it as it is. I am happy to be back with you guys again. My name is Suan Wickham. I'm your moderator for tonight's program, and I'm also here with Mr. Lall, the man of the hour. During tonight's proceedings, if you'd like to call and pose a question, you can do so on 226-7453 or 226-7454. Mr. Lall, the floor is yours.
Before?
The floor.
Oh, the floor is mine.
It's all yours.
Suan, I am going to space. I saw they launch a rocket today with 4 people inside. And I was thinking all day that I need to go with them on a trip and maybe let them drop me off somewhere where I can be alone, where I do not have to put up with some of these people we have living on Earth. You know, because it's difficult. It's a difficult thing, you know, when you hear people talk and you look at their actions. I think if they don't drop me off in space, maybe I like them to drop me off on Mars or some one of the other planets. So let me see if I can make it there. Would you like to join me? Anybody would like to join me there? No?
Have to go to space.
Oh well, it means that you guys are satisfied here, you know. But when you get phone calls and text messages from mankind like yourself, you know, I received 3. I received 2 phone calls and 1 text message from yesterday to today. And one of them said to me, "Glenn, you're a smart guy," among other things. And the next one who called me said that I am a bright chap. And I smiled. And the other one said that I am stupid. But he didn't call me. He texts. He put that on Facebook. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I am confused. I don't know if I am smart, I am bright, or stupid. Or maybe I'm all 3. What you say, Suan? Am I all 3? Or am I in between? Which one? Okay, I'm mad. All right. Good night to all the listeners. And thank you for taking your bedtime to listen to this crazy man. Tonight's topic will show all of you how much love, care, and concern our leaders have for all of us. We reported how the opposition leader, Mr. Joseph Harmon, and Ramjatan and Patterson, they went to the U.S. ambassador and complained how the local press is not very helpful to the opposition. You guys remember that. Then begged the ambassador to ferry their messages to Washington, D.C. and the rest of the world so they can see and hear from them what is going on in this land. Since then, Mr. Harmon held 1 press conference and talked about election. Something was done dead and buried. Patterson keep one and talk about local government election and COVID money. Then them announce they want to meet with ExxonMobil, the man who control the wealth of Guyana, ExxonMobil. They meet yesterday. They are the ones that sign the many messed up contracts, including the one-sided, the lopsided Exxon contract that gives us that 2% royalty. That 2% is now the talk of the world and is on every Guyanese lips and tongues as I pass through my daily life. That's all I hear from every Guyanese. Glenn, are we going to get that thing changed? Glenn, how are we going to get that change? And I sometimes don't know how and what to tell them. I just say, guys, talk to your leaders. Speak to them. Let them understand that we can't live with that 2% royalty from all this wealth we have in this land. There are several other wrong and messed up things, including corrupt things, happening in the oil sector as I speak. One would expect, after such an important meeting on such a gigantic issue that is our wealth, the opposition would have held a press conference right away and speak to the nation as to what they discussed with Exxon. Instead, they sent out a very short and confusing statement to the media. When I read it, I was not only confused as to what they want to say or what they mean, but it did leave me to wonder if these people really looking out for the best interest of the Guyanese people, me and you, or themselves. The statement gives no hope for a better life for Guyanese, a better salaries, or anything positive for the improvement and development of this beautiful country of ours. No, the statement does not give any hope to those things. So, all of us will remain the same way you are today or worse off in years to come. Trust me on that, guys, if we don't get things changed in this land. You know, one would think they will come out and say to us, listen, guys, listen, Guyanese, we realize we made some terrible mistakes with these oil and gold contracts, and we will try our best to see the best possible way to claw back some money in other ways if a renegotiation does not happen. One would have expected that. But what came out of the meeting tells me it's a done deal between them and ExxonMobil on any renegotiation. That doesn't seem to be on their agenda or their cards. No, renegotiation are not on their cards or their agenda. So from now on, take the crumbs, what I'm throwing at us. That 2% royalty was not part of their discussion, ladies and gentlemen. So you gotta take it. That 2%, or less than 2% royalty we're getting, were not nowhere in the meeting. Their mouths were sealed and the buckets of cash you're dreaming of to collect, you better turn it over. Turn the bucket over so you can sit and continue feeding your children on it. Read through the lines what is going on. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce complained in today's newspaper about the high crime rate. The high crime rate. Let me say this to the chamber people. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Some of y'all may run away when the real crime rate approaches. It's coming, and it's coming very soon. Papua New Guinea get a better deal than us. Matter of fact, them get a sweetheart deal. Them get a deal what a Queen of England settles for. 12.5% and up in royalty on their oil. And this morning, the whole country is in uproar with gangs upon gangs of criminals roaming the streets all over the country, and it is out of control. The people got so much wealth and can't eat and feed them children because of their politicians, how they handle the assets. Just Google what I told you there and see it for yourself. The Arabian television news outfit there called Al Jazeera reported that story this morning. It even replayed this afternoon. So if you are complaining about crime now, just wait and see the crime wave very soon. You will see the gangs that will be springing up. Heed my warnings, brothers and sisters. None of y'all will say Glenn Lall didn't warn y'all. It's already in the making. When people can't eat or buy milk for their children, with all this wealth that is in this country, their only alternative is to thief. Yes. Yep. When you can't put food on the table for your children, and you can't find a work, and you ain't getting a decent share of your own wealth that you were blessed with by our Creator, then there you will thief. I have been telling you guys, Exxon and all them foreign companies in here running things, they calling the shots on everything and anything. They got the leaders locked. Them just got tell we leaders to jump. And our leaders will ask, how high you want us to jump, boss? Yes, we have been sold out. We have been sold out. And we have been sold out by the leaders you so loved. The opposition leader, Mr. Joseph Harman and his team, along with Kemraj Ramjatan, meet with Exxon and talk about three things only. Just three things they talk. Them say how them concerned about the constant breaking down of the gas compressor that leads to this flaring, and ask how long it can take to fix, and how it will affect the amount of money Guyana gonna get, we gonna get. I have to laugh when I see that in the statement. Yes, the few pennies that will never give us or a yearly budget, that few pennies. The next thing them talk about was the gas to show project. And them say how Exxon give a commitment for talk about it later. Later. Because the gas project is very important for the development of Guyana and the lives of the Guyanese people. I don't know in what direction they are saying if the thing gonna develop Guyana in a good way or a bad way. I am not clear as to what they mean. Please, let me read their exact words so you can explain it to me what they really mean or what they are saying to all of us here in Guyana. This is coming from the statement. Let me read. We raised the issue of ExxonMobil's involvement in the gas to show project, and we were given a commitment of a fuller presentation on all these matters, recognizing that this is a very important project to the development of Guyana and the lives of Guyanese. End of quote. You know, I spoke to two reporters and I asked them to read what I just read there. And you know, none of them could have understand what these people saying. And I could not believe it. I called a lawyer and asked the lawyer to explain to me what these people are saying here. And he could not clarify or say exactly what the opposition leader's statement is saying there. So my question to Mr. Harmon, are you guys for or against the gas to shore project? Like I said, one the guy said I am bright and one said I'm smart and the other said I'm stupid. So I try to mix all two together and read back that thing many times to grasp, to get the understanding of what, and I couldn't. I barely tried it. Let me read it back, man, because maybe I don't know where they stand or what they mean. Hear it again. We raised the issue with ExxonMobil's involvement in the gas to shore project, and we are given a commitment of a fuller presentation on all these matters, recognizing that this is a to the development of Guyana and the lives of Guyanese people. Understand? Anybody what I said? Well, you know, can someone call and explain what the opposition leaders and his team is telling us? Thanks in advance. I will be taking the call. The telephone number is 226-7453. Please call or please text on the WhatsApp 622-222. You know, they're afraid to hold conferences and talk directly to you, the people, and face the hard questions from the media. Wow. Wow. Yes, go ahead. Take the call.
Hello, good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night. My name is Angad. I'm from French Village, and I like your program. But now, the back is a big mistake. For the back Omar in this country, and because I think they sell out very hard.
I'm dealing with a question I asked you there, sir. Sorry. Can you explain what I just read there? What the opposition leader saying in his statement. Do you understand it? Or would you like me to read it back?
No, I hear your program.
All right. I just want somebody to answer that question. I'm going to deal with the telephone calls after the program. Thank you for calling. Wow. Wow. Like I said, they're afraid. They're afraid. They're afraid to talk to the people direct and to face questions. They're afraid Glenn Lall will play back their fancy and confusing language and then break it down for everybody to see the game they're playing and the tune them singing and dancing to. My interpretation of that paragraph leaves me with more questions than answers, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Guyanese. If you guys are for the Gas to Shore project, then I can clearly say y'all sleeping in the same bed with ExxonMobil and the Vice President Jagdeo to exploit and to rob this nation of the 2% we get in, and even our pensioners' money too. Yes, I am clear in saying so. What development these guys talking about, brothers and sisters? Mr. Joseph Biden, the President of the United States, the entire Europe, and the rest of the world is moving away from gas and oil projects, saying solar, wind, and hydro are cheaper and cleaner way to go for this world. Just listen to his words. The President of the United States. He said this only 2 days ago.
Leadership on this issue is a statement to the people of your nation and to the people of every nation, especially to take action. Not only our federal government, but our cities and our states all across our country, small businesses, large corporations, American workers in every field. I see an opportunity to create millions of good-paying, middle-class union jobs. I see line workers laying thousands of miles of transmission lines for a clean, modern, resilient grid. I see workers capping hundreds of thousands of abandoned oil and gas wells that need to be cleaned up and abandoned coal mines
you can breathe freer and be healthier. You guys heard the man of the moment himself, Joseph Biden, the President of the United States. He is the leader of the free world in which we live. And he can say with certainty that green energy, solar, wind, and hydro is not only cleaner, but cheaper and better for the world. And he is getting rid of gas and oil power generation. The man even say, we are moving to electric vehicles now. You hear that? Yes. But that piece didn't play. That he said that on further down in his speech. Electric vehicles. How they will put electric stations to recharge the vehicles on all the highways. Done with fossil fuel. Done with oil power generation. Man, something else is in our leaders' heads. Spain, I just said this Monday night, just announced them moving away from fossil fuel electric to cheaper and cleaner energy. They want to sell out them entire gas plant for little or nothing and can't find a buyer. And these leaders we have here, who can run a fowl pen with a few chickens inside, can't manage a couple of sugar workers at Gaisuku, we can't get the Skeldon plant we spent 200 million on up and running. We can't fix a power line at GPL, ready for run a huge multi-billion-dollar gas to shore project on our heads. It's sad. It's so sad with these leaders we have here, Guyana. My heart bleeds for this country and for all of you with what these leaders, how they're thinking, what's their mentality. They do nothing whatsoever to benefit you, the people. Every project they embark on are failures. I have asked this question many times, and nobody has ever answered me to name a project that they're happy with, that all the politicians did for the last 30 years. And I haven't gotten a text message on that for the last 6 months. In the short statement the opposition leader sent out, we ain't hear a word about renegotiation of the one-sided contract. Why, Guyanese? Why, brothers and sisters? That ain't important to them. That ain't important to them. I wonder. I always say, the first thing oil companies do when they go in your country, they line the pockets of all the politicians. A few people will become filthy rich. Listen to me carefully. Chamber of Commerce people. A few people will become filthy rich, just like Papua New Guinea. And the next thing the oil company does do is create chaos, confusion, and instability. And while we fight among ourselves, them fetching out our wealth, your wealth, by the plane loads and boat loads. Read. All our leaders are silent. You hear me? Listen to them. All of them are silent. Just read through the lines. Brothers and sisters, insurance, the most important thing to mankind, which Ashni Singh, The finance minister said just the other day, insurance is a vital toolkit that every citizens, every home, every business must have. It's a life and death situation. Guys, we did not hear or see the opposition mention a word about that in the statement. Despite ExxonMobil agreed to and promised to have their parent company sign a document taking on full responsibility to take care and safeguard Guyana and its neighbors. Not if, but when a disaster occurs out there. Until now, we didn't get a document, and we didn't see the opposition leader mention anything about that. The opposition didn't raise that subject. That's not an issue. Or maybe they did and forget to put it in the statement. You hear that, Swan? Brothers and sisters, you hearing this? Guys, we are all left to the mercy of our Creator in this land. Trust me. The two most important things we heard nothing about: insurance and renegotiation for a better deal so that our children can get biscuits in their lunch kits for school. You guys hear that, Chamber of Commerce? Take note. Take note. Because you will see the crime wave very soon. Man, this got to be a beautiful country. But for y'all, not for me. I'm thinking to send an email to the space station so I can get out and go along my way there. You know, it is the same thing happening in Papua New Guinea and many other African and Asian countries that got oil. You know, James, them didn't raise nothing about local content policy. Them ain't concerned about Guyanese getting kicked out of contracts because them ain't got experience. Or how all the foreigners grabbing up everything here and we the people just left to breed the wind that blowing from the oil rigs out there. That's not important. These things doesn't matter to the opposition leaders. Guyanese lives doesn't matter. No. That's not important to the opposition. That's not important to Joseph Harmon, Ramjatan and Patterson them. The few pennies that them sign on to with the contract is what is important to us, according to them. Guys, they did not discuss ring fencing costs, in which billions can transfer from one project to another to double the cost on us. No. I don't think some of them even understand what is ring fencing. Wow. Them did not discuss and try to remove that clause in which we have to give ExxonMobil 7 days notice to go out there to audit the books.
Our own books.
Yes, our own books. To check the oil figures. No. That's not important to us. That wasn't important for Harmon them to raise at the meeting. Imagine we have to give them time, 7 days notice, so that they can fix the book. Then they're going to allow me for go and check. That's real business, eh? Yes. This is how your leaders running this land. Ramjatan them, Harmon, Jack Day when they're finale them.
Yep.
The opposition leader them didn't see it fit to discuss in the meeting about the loans Exxon taking out on us that we have to pay for, in which we have no say on even the interest rate that we have to pay. You believe this thing? They didn't raise that. That's not important. Wow. Wow. Our pockets, our bank books, our children lunch kits, doesn't matter. The oil company bank books and their bank accounts matter, not ours. Brothers and sisters, I hope you guys are listening keenly as to what I'm saying. The opposition leaders didn't see it wise to discuss in a meeting to have the provisions removed from the contract, which says if Guyana changes the law tomorrow and the law cause them, the oil people, them to lose money, we have to pick up that slack and pay them for their loss. Yes, that's in the contract. You hear me? If them lose, listen, if them lose $1 billion due to our change of law, me and you have to cut cane and plant rice to pay them. That's what we have in the contract. You want to hear more or let me stop?
No, continue.
If we change the laws of Guyana, it will only be for us Guyanese, not for the oil company. My God, man, sometimes I can't fathom, I can't understand, I can't imagine. These are the things they would put in a contract. That if you change the laws of Guyana, it does not affect them. They are above our laws.
Untouchable.
And Harmon them didn't see it fit. You hear me? As lawyers, they are lawyers. It's a set of lawyers. And see it fit to bring up these issues and have them corrected. No, it's not important. No. Please, I could see through this radio some of you sleeping away on me. Don't do that to me, please. Let me tell you a little more from the short statement them sent out to the media. Joseph Harmon said, Exxon briefed him and his team, and at the end, they were happy and satisfied. Yes, satisfied for talk a set of stupidness and nonsense. What did you guys discuss that make you so happy that weren't in the media already that y'all talked about, Mr. Harmon? Share it with us. I would love to hear, and I believe all Guyana would love to hear too. You guys really concerned about Guyanese earnings from the oil industry? No, man, I don't think so. If y'all are really concerned, then y'all would have addressed those issues I talked about and would have taken the advice of many oil experts who telling y'all to revisit and revise those oil contracts. Mr. Harmon, Mr. Patterson, Mr. Ramjatan, flaring is the issue or money? Which one, guys? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, no compressor breakdown, That's an issue that has become Exxon's mantra. It's the best song or the only song they know to sing or the only get out of jail card they know since them start pumping oil. Exxon don't want to re-inject the gas, brothers and sisters, or re-inject the produced water. It is too expensive. So they blame the compressor just for burn it and dump the produced water into our ocean. And you know, both of them are extremely dangerous for the world, more so we in this region. I read Harman talked about flaring of the gas, but he didn't say a word about the produced water, which is just as deadly as the flare. Maybe they don't know, forget, or doesn't care. I don't know which one to put to them. Imagine we have to pay. We have to pay even if Exxon make a mistake and get an oil spill out there.
God forbid that.
God forbid that. You're right. If we take them to court, listen to this, James. If we take them to court, we got to pay all their lawyer fees. Even if they fly lawyers from wherever and come here, we have to pay their fees. And if the court rule against them, and them have to pay us, is we pocket. Is we pocket. We oil them taking it out from. That is in the contract, Mr. Harman and Ramjatan and Trotman, we all sign. That's in there as lawyers. You know, like I said, it's only because I am on the radio that I can't say certain things. But what I want to tell y'all, all of you, are you guys past this nation as leaders. Let me make this very clear for you, brothers and sisters. The coalition have power. Yes, power. But I mean using it to the benefit of the Guyanese people. And I just don't know why. You read through the lines. And I only hope the chamber people reading through the lines too. Guys, this is the sweetest part of the story. So listen carefully, and I am done for tonight. The opposition, when in government, set up a parliamentary committee and the Natural Resources Committee in Parliament that give them the power to haul in ExxonMobil, all them oil companies, anytime, and question them publicly on anything and everything. Or am I clear? Yes, they have the power through the laws they set to haul them in and question them on anything and everything. You hear me? In which the company have to bring facts. So why you guys not using that forum that gives you power to question and investigate, Mr. Harman? That is the laws of Guyana, to which they have to abide by. And all of you know that. Because you guys are lawyers. And it's you guys who set those things in place. To question these oil companies in the public, where everybody could see and hear. This is the purpose of these committees, sirs. It was your government. Give the Natural Resources Committee that power to haul them in and investigate them. Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten, guys? Or is just a convenient way to pussyfoot with the Exxon? So, let me ask this man. Why are you guys putting out a statement through the press requesting a meeting with Exxon when y'all have all the power to just call them and say, get to Parliament, we need to talk? Why? Why are you sending out press statement requesting meeting? I'm confused. I don't get it. I've been trying all day to understand why, when you guys have all this power. What? Is a puppy show y'all putting on this nation? Or is gimmicks y'all playing?
That's exactly what it is.
It's like Lall begging for a meeting with his security people. You understand that? I begging me security guard for a meeting.
Games. More games.
You know, I wasn't surprised to hear after that meeting, y'all were satisfied. I wasn't surprised at all. And I know every meeting y'all have, I could tell y'all the answer when y'all come out without being there. All Guyana watching and see how your party, Mr. Harmon, has been nothing but a servant to Exxon,
Yes.
doing their very bidding. No, brothers and sisters, I honestly believe Exxon asked for that meeting to get their message out through them, these puppets.
I second your fact. I second it.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Any meetings, Mr. Harmon, Mr. Trotman, Mr. Patterson, and Ramjatan, any meetings without a purpose or a strategy is no meeting whatsoever.
Correct is right.
So it is time to get serious, sirs.
Big one lives.
Y'all have an important role to play in this country
Yep.
with its wealth, with its resources, to give every citizen of this country a good life.
It does.
Is your boss, Mr. David Granger, promised a good life for all. The people of this country deserve a good life. We have too much wealth, too much resources for not having a good life in this land. To have people looking at an empty food table in their own house. Full. That even small cockroach go in, it's so full that the cockroach wouldn't find a way out.
Wow.
I am through the line, brothers and sisters. I'm getting tired. I am thirsty. And I want to breathe. Guyanese lives matter. My life matter. Every citizen, especially in the country, lives matter. They need to eat. So let me open up my minds. I think I've said enough for tonight.
Okay, those of
So
you
I
that
can
want
hear
to
from
call,
you.
you can do so on 226-7453 or 226-7454. Or you can send a WhatsApp message or call on 622-2222. In the meantime, Mr. Lall, some persons would have sent messages on WhatsApp I think you would like to answer. The first
I
one,
can.
yes, if you can. Mr. Lall, you talked about how we will soon get robbed of the 2% and the pensioners' money. What do you mean?
Oh, what do I mean by that?
Yes.
The 2% money we will be getting in will not be able to take care of the cost, the enormous cost that they are going to throw on us with that gas to shore project. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like we getting in a few penny, but they are going on a bigger project that they can't run, they can't manage, they can't handle. The whole world is going out running away from it. You understand?
Yes.
And the money you hear they're throwing there, if you do the maths, you will understand that the 2% you get in will be going there instead of our pockets. And it would not be enough to pay that cost. So hence I said that even the pensioners' money will go down because you will have to pay that, because that comes with an interest rate too. So that's what I mean when I said that.
Okay, and we have a second question.
I'll take the call.
Okay, caller, good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Maybe we lost the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes?
I guess you can go
You
to
were
the
telling me
second
something?
question. The person would like to know what is produced water and why is it dangerous?
Oh. Produced water, Swan, is not a water out there. That water is locked in the basin with the oil. Right? You have three things in the basin. You have oil, you have gas, and you have water. Right? And that water when it comes up, it's called produced water. That's not the fresh water out there. So when you bring up when you suck up the oil, right? The gas is at the top of the basin. Then you have the oil, and then you have water. So as you suck the oil, water and the gas comes out, and the oil they're siphing it out and throw it onto the ship. And the gas, what's supposed to be reinjected back into the basin, that is deadly. Right? Because it comes up with deadly chemicals. It's a number of deadly chemicals they use, right? As they bring up this oil and gas. So when they're separated at the top, they were supposed to re-inject the gas under the produced water that comes up to go back there. That water is filthy hot. It's you can't boil it. Boiling water is not even hot like that. Right?
Well, he
Because
said
remember,
fire water.
it's sitting in that basin for maybe centuries, couple hundred centuries.
Yeah.
So it's hot. And when it comes up with the oil and the gas, it's just as harmful and deadly. If you throw that, when they dump that into the ocean, right, it kills every living thing miles away instantaneously. Right? And that when they throw it there, it also heats the ocean floor, the water and everything. So it's a lot more that I can say. But that's a deadly water.
Oh.
That's supposed to be reinjected too. Okay? Yes, go ahead. take
Caller,
the
good
call.
evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show. Caller, good evening. Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show. Yes.
You know, Suan, I don't.
Hello. Good evening.
I don't, like I said, I don't even think the leaders of this land understand what is produced water. They think it's maybe when you suck the water, you wash down the ship, that is produced water. No, it's completely different. And it's deadly. It is deadly. Just as deadly as the gas. Right? Take calls.
Good evening, you're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Hi, good night.
Good evening.
You have another phone ringing there.
Good night to the panel.
Good night.
First of all, let me just compliment Mr. Lall. I know people may think that, because he's speaking on the layman's term, that he's not, he's not acknowledging or he's not understanding what he's saying. But let me tell you something, Mr. Lall. I think you're hitting the right cards, because if the Guyanese people do not open their eyes towards these politicians, we're going to go down the road that we're on for the next 100 years. We have been suffering under these politicians' hands for the past 50 years. If we look around the country to see the condition of our country, look at the roads, look where we are, and all this money is being spent, and you look at the landscape. Just look at the country, and every year you're hearing billions of dollars are being budgeted to this and budgeted to that and budgeted to that, and we are not getting anywhere. We just have approximately $300-something million from oil, which was producing since 2016. Now, the vice president wants to go and borrow $1 billion to do what? We're still paying back that money from the hydro road. We're still paying monies from the sugar industry that we're still paying a lot of monies. We will pay our debts as yet. Now you're gonna he's want to go and inherit a debt of $1 billion to do what? Look at the condition that we're living in. Look at the condition of the roads. Look, the politicians are just fattening themselves. Look at the standard of the people living in this country. Look at the smaller public servants are still getting $70,000, $80,000 a month. Their salaries are super salaries to what public servants are getting. Things are going up. I'm going to say to the Guyanese people, and what I'm saying here is not on behalf of Mr. Lall or the Kaieteur News or Mr. Lall radio station. I'm speaking as a Guyanese. If the Indian people and the Afro-Guyanese people and the Amerindian people and the Douglas people do not wake up, we're going to be like this for the next 100 years, because the politicians are going to get richer and we're going to remain the way we are. Mr. Lall, I think you're doing an excellent job, and I think the way that you're putting you're sharing your knowledge, everybody would understand you. You don't have to be an intellectual. I think Guyanese need to open up their eyes, because the PPP have inherited a 50% raise on their salary, and they're enjoying it. 50%, you're not here to talking about that. They're enjoying it. We, the public servant, barely getting $70,000, barely getting $80,000. And the public servant are not getting no raise. They are enjoying it. And if we, the Indian people, are going to sit back and praise our Indian politicians like gods, or the Afro-Guyanese is going to sit back and praise their black leaders as gods, we're going to remain like this, Mr. Lall, for the next 100 years. I think you have been very outspoken. I think you're speaking for the people, especially the small people of this country, and we need to listen to you, because the politicians are getting richer, ExxonMobil are getting richer, because they're already billionaires and they're going to get richer. We are not inheriting anything. And Guyanese should see now, like I'm going to say it for the second time, look at the roads condition of this country, look at the parks of this country, look at the country, look at the condition of the country for 50 years of independence and the money that has been spent in this country. Thank you very much, and keep your good work up, Mr. Lall.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you. I just want to add a little piece on what you said there, because I just love to add. You know, $1 billion you said there? No, sir. The gas to show project has already passed $2 billion. Wow. We are still working on that to confirm. It is way beyond $2 billion. So just a note to you. You talk about we'll be worst off in 100 years. That's too long. That's too long. When the oil is finished, like Trinidad and Tobago is heading way past Guyana. Give Trinidad and Tobago another 10 years. They are worse than Guyana where we are today. You talk about oil been pumping since 2016. I just want to correct you there. No, we started pumping oil in 2019. You talk about the roads. The roads, I wanted to do a special program, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for sometime next week. I drive the roads and I see what's taking place, and I must tell you, besides the money them say, I like to use the word them say, them that spend to fix roads, that's a different story. I don't want to touch that. The money them spend could already do over all the roads in Guyana. If you do the maths, what they have spent for the last 15 or 20 years on city fences and our roadways, it could have fixed all the roads in Guyana and also give us highway. But I don't want to go to that now. I want to do a program especially to tell you guys that our leaders don't even have a clue as to where Guyana would be heading in another 2 or 3 years from now.
Wow.
With this road situation, this congestion that is taking place right now in this land. I'm going to do a special program on that. Thanks for your call. Do we have any more?
Well,
At the moment.
you said earlier, right, that the crime rate here is going to escalate, right?
It will.
Because the people cannot get jobs. You know, today, it dawned on me, I had a conversation with this police guy from Borby originally. He working in Tonaso. When the guy can tell me that there's no job, no job in Borbis, no job. So I say like, so these people gonna be robbing each other. So the man said, down the door, they ain't got nobody for rob, cause nobody got no money. But you have to see the expression on this guy's
No, but
face.
they will.
When he was saying, we say, and then it brings me to mind, you know, Trinidad. Had all this island, all this thing. What the crime rate in Trinidad, what it is today.
Well, they began to roll back. They began rolling
People
down.
kidnapping people alive,
Yes,
saying what's
yes.
going on in these places.
Caller, good evening. You're on to the Gun Lall Show. Caller, good evening. We lost that one.
Check the phones. Yeah.
Yeah, you know me? It's just a sad state of affair.
I know. Not
Good evening. You're on to the Gun Lall Show.
Hi,
good evening, Mr. Lall.
Hello?
Caller, good evening. You're on to the Gun Lall Show.
Maybe I'll check the phone lines. 226-7454, you can call them to. Or call us on 226-7453, 226-7454.
Come back to what you said earlier.
Or you can WhatsApp us 622-2222.
Come back to what you said earlier.
Caller, good evening. You're on to the Gun Lall Show.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Are you hearing me? Okay. I have a question about Papua New Guinea.
Callers, please remember when you're calling in to
You cut
turn
off?
your radios
You
down
cut off?
because we have feedback in the
Question from
studio.
Papua New Guinea.
Okay.
Could you please call back for...
Caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we need to touch on the person who was appointed to go on the Gael board, and in 6 months, $600 million has theft out.
Wow. It's an allegation, my friend. We gotta careful with lawsuits and stuff like that with these things. It's just an allegation. Yes, Gael, the police are investigating a 600 million missing money from Gael, but it's a difficult thing to comment on. But take the call.
Good evening. You're on to the Gun Lall Show. Caller, good evening. I guess we lost
My
one.
friend, it's corruption every single place you turn in this land. You know? And you know what? they have been seeing, they have been learning from nobody else but your leaders.
Yeah.
You know, your leaders hardly wants to comment on corruption, because when you look at their faces as they talk about corruption,
We have another caller. You're on to Legal and Lall Show.
You can see their faces. You can see the crookishness in them. I watch them many times and smile. So, corruption will always be there, my friend. Unless you get leaders who are decent, who are honest, and who love people. You know, I always talk that Chetty Jagan, I believe, was never a corrupt man. Desmond Hoyt was never a corrupt man. And to some extent, I want to believe that Mr. Granger is also not a corrupt man.
Good evening. You're on to Legal and Lall Show.
That's my belief.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, Mela. Keep up the good work that you're doing, boy.
Thank you.
Okay? But me want to tell you one thing.
Yeah.
One who's not recognize, the people is not recognize nobody here. To get them not got time with anybody. So that's it, right? So you do a good job, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, love. Thank you.
You also said something today, right there, that on the show tonight, which made a lot of sense. The purpose of the meeting.
You guys can call on WhatsApp, you know, 622-2222.
Right, Glenn? It was a whole smoke screen, this meeting. The greatest thing I think they achieved is that when they said that we wouldn't be built, right? For the flare thing that they keep sending back and forth. Oh, we won't be built for the.
Good evening. You're on to the Legal and Lall Show.
My friend.
Yes, good evening, Mom.
Good evening.
I would like to say something now.
Go ahead.
Mr. Barajadil, that Kellen modernized factory, which he spent so much money, right? And now, the European price cut in the 2010, when that factory started to perform, on the day it started to perform, there is no kind of production at all. The other factory have to flow his, right? Now, so how much 100 or million why you expend on the factory now? Now think about this now, tell you the truth. Gao called strike recently gone for the people there for wages and salary now. Where Guy Suku should be looking to this now. So what Mr. Glenal is saying that, Mom, is very correct. That we must look into this in this country here. When we invest and what we invest from and what will be the later on.
My friend, hold on the line. I have said on a previous show that the money they are spending in Gaisuku, they can pay all the sugar workers to stay home and still left back with money to build schools and hospitals for the people. Because they're paying the sugar workers the salary. The sugar workers are working in the cane farm. They are bringing out sugar and they're losing money too there. So they're not really running a business. What they have been running is a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme they're running to rob us with our tax dollars. You see, they got to find things to do. It's the same thing they're doing with GPL. I have talked about that Monday. Right? Thank you. It's time.
Are we taking any more calls, or would you like to?
If you have a call, take it and let's go.
Off? We don't have any
All
more
right,
calls.
so guys, take it.
Good evening. You're on to the Glenn Lall Show.
Mr. Glenn,
Yes, sir.
we can give you an estimate of what cubic from one street this way, right? Among the bitumen, I can give you a file about it. How they're robbing billions from one street.
The roads, I didn't get to hear him clear. We should keep him on the line, don't cut him off. You know, so maybe we don't hear them clear. Yeah, they have been robbing us blindly, man. On every project, not only on roads, my friend. Every project they put their hand on, it has never done in an honest and decent fashion. Everything. And let me tell you this. Right? You see some of these projects that are left halfway, some of these projects that the contractors them cannot finish, is not because of the contractors them, it is because the leaders them who give them those contracts, the money they demand on the project. It's like buying a phone. If you have a phone for $1,000, they give you they tell you the phone costs you $2,000. And they take more than 1,000 for themselves back.
They will send one of the laptop for you.
I would love to get it back. Yes, I'm going to pay you for it. I need one for souvenir. Huh?
We'll send one for you.
No problem. Thank you. Yes, the guy, the laptop.
One last call. Good evening. You're on to the Gun Law Show.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
We need to get rid of this entire government. This COVID government, the entire government needs to go.
My dear.
Why fight? Listen to me.
Yes.
Why are we fighting? We're looking ridiculous in the international community. We're looking ridiculous in front of the oil giants, ExxonMobil. We need to get this COVID government out.
My dear, let me stick a pin.
Fresh blood in the government.
Just stick a pin.
Why fight over where one road goes when you could afford 6 roads?
Stick a pin for me, my dear. Who do you put?
Yeah, there's the question. That's a good question.
Super big question.
That's the question, dear Didi.
My dear, who do we put?
The young people will rise up.
Where are they? Where are they?
They are coming.
Oh, they're coming.
They are.
Well, listen. When they come, just invite them on the radio. Let us see what plans they have and how they will run and go about this country.
Guyana is sitting on a wealth.
We're not disputing that.
We're not disputing that.
And these guys, they aren't prepared. They are not prepared, and God is watching, and when you don't use it wisely, He will take it from you.
Well, I've been saying that.
Get the COVID government out. Get them stopped. No more race politics.
I agree with you.
No more race politics. Get the COVID government out. There's a new strain every day they're putting on the Guyanese people.
I know that.
Guyanese want to come home. They want to leave Norway in their cold winters. Canada in their cold winters. They want to come home and invest all their savings. Why fight over where one road goes when you could afford 4 and 5 roads?
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
COVID government. I will keep calling for the COVID government to get out. You're fighting over a bat and ball when somebody else already took over the pitch.
They take over the whole ground.
Fighting.
The whole
ground.
The whole ground.
The Exxon executives are looking on and they're laughing.
They're smiling.
Because this is what they like. They love when we fight.
Yes.
If you cannot come together, you need to get the COVID government out. You can fight behind closed doors, but when you come forward, you must stand smiling like you never fought before.
Yes, I hear you.
Get them out.
I hear you.
Nobody have time for fighting race politics anymore. We don't care who going. Look after. What are they demanding from Exxon? Are they going to build schools, universities, hospitals? What are they going to build? Go and demand. Stop fighting. Close the door and fight. Nobody wants you cut out in front of everybody. Close the door.
Close the door and fight. The government and the opposition is not even talking to each other. Exactly. So which room you gonna put them in? And who's gonna close the door?
They have to come out. Get them out. New parties, come on, rise up and get them out. Young people, form parties and get them out. Get the COVID government out.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you see, Glenn, this come back early up in the show where we was talking about Papua New Guinea and all these things. This is what transpiring here right now. But it's just early signs we get in.
No, but we have been reporting on this thing for the last 5-6 years, you know. All these things that I'm saying on air here, we have been reporting on these things. We have been showing the Guyana through the newspapers what's happening in every part of the world. As a matter of fact, Suwan, we got to get back some of these stories and reprint them.
Yes,
you know,
definitely.
let's refresh people's mind with them. You know, it's important. All right, we're getting late, so let's just call it a night. And before I go, let me say this loud and clear again. If you all don't have the opposition leaders, if you guys don't have the testicular apparatus to get a job done, then you all should get out of the way, because all of you are doing a disservice to the Guyanese people, and they don't deserve that, especially those who voted for your party. Thank you, guys. It was a beautiful evening. Thanks for listening. Good night, and may God bless all of you. Sleep well.